To yet another edition of Expressed Opinion. I am your girl, Lynn Roberts.
I'm your girl, DC.
And I'm your boy, T-Roy.
And Big C.
Big C! Man, it's been a heck of a week. I hope everybody's doing good and everybody's week went well.
Yeah, everybody's week went well, I hope. I know mine did.
I'm going to tell you, mine went quick.
I got a raise at work. So mine did good.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Bragger.
They didn't say that, but I appreciate y'all.
Okay. Well, mine, it just went quick. I didn't even realize the week was over.
What?
You
was busy.
I had, like I said, I had a busy week, so I didn't even realize the week was. I was like, damn, it's Friday. Okay, cool.
Don't complain about it. Don't complain about it.
No, I wasn't, because I was like, you. All right, let me see. Okay, y'all got about 35, 45 minutes for me, and I'm out. So
My week has been long, and I just thank God I'm here. That's all.
For me? Oh man, I've just been doing the same thing, trying to date.
trying to what?
Date.
Okay, here we go.
So we have an eligible bachelor here.
Eligible.
Big C's.
Okay.
Eligible bachelor.
Here we go. I see it. I see it now.
So can I do a plug real quick?
Plug me.
Okay.
I mean, no, that didn't come out right.
See, it's that age range.
Say again?
It's that age range.
Is there an age range?
Yes.
8 to 80, blind, crooked, crazy, what you want?
Yeah, I mean, heartbeat optional.
Real quick. Put your plug out there real quick.
Heartbeat optional?
Oh.
Okay.
No. I'm just,
I needed that.
Oh my God.
at this point, with the dating pool, as long as you're warm.
We ain't even 2 minutes into it.
Okay.
Already going to the left.
As long as you're still warm, all right.
DC, I blame you for that.
Well, I'm trying to help our fellow comrades. But now we're back.
And I appreciate that.
Now we're probably
There's no help out there for us.
You asked how the week was going. He said all I did was discuss it.
Just a little bit.
No help out there for us.
Okay, see, already. Hold on, wait a minute, y'all. All right, okay. So, with all that being said, it's time for the headlines. Read it in the headlines, y'all. Well, check this out. This week in the headlines, as you all know, maybe you all do not know, on Thursday, Florida's House of Representatives, they passed the Parental Rights and Educational Bill, better known as the Don't Say Gay Bill. Y'all, I don't know if you all have heard about this, and despite claims by Representative Joe Harding, who introduced the measure that is simply about empowering parents and creating boundaries at an early age with what is appropriate in our schools. So, but in reality, the legislation is dangerously anti-LG, all the alphabets, and it's hugely harmful to the young people that it's supposedly trying to protect. So, in addition to a banning in the classroom discussion about sexual orientation or gender identity in the state's public elementary schools, it allows parents to take legal action against school districts if they think that their fundamental rights as parents have been violated. Now, the bill is headed to the state's Republican-controlled Senate, where it's expected to pass there. Now, also with that, if you all did not know, Georgia has a similar bill. So I don't know if you all knew about that they have a similar bill that they have in Georgia. However, they're saying that it's not getting much traction in Georgia because now, Georgia has a big film industry here in Georgia.
Right.
And so the film industry is not backing that. And since Georgia now has, I didn't even know we had so many film studios here in Georgia now. We have a whole bunch. We have at least about 10 different studio films. You got the film studios, and then you got television film studios.
Tyler Perry being one of the largest.
Yeah, Tyler Perry is one of the largest.
Also, there are so many films. Every months down the line, you can't go down to the streets. They're shooting around where mom lived. The street was closed off. Shooting movies. I mean, I think that's good economically. But this bill here.
Yeah, and then this is the other thing. Now, because Florida is doing that, and I told you about Georgia is trying to do that. But because of the incentives, the tax incentives that the film industry gets here, because they get like a 30% tax credit.
Holy brother.
Yeah, so they get one of the biggest tax credits in the country. The film industry gets one of the biggest tax credits in the country when they shoot films here. And also, not only that, it has handed out $1.2 billion in film and TV tax credits, and that's more than any other state. So.
Well, you also know that when you shoot movies places, it draws people there.
Mhm.
So they get in theirs on the back
Yeah.
end with the tourism.
Yeah.
But Savannah alone is actually one of the most beautiful cities they have listed as far as visiting. Like they said, what, the top 10 or top 5?
Historically,
Yes. Like, people really flock to
Yeah.
Savannah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and now they're shooting movies here, so it's really getting exposed at a greater level.
Because you gotta realize one of the most notable movies that was filmed here. You got The Legend of Bagger Vance. You got Forrest Gump. Wakanda. Well, they were filmed actually. The Legend of Bagger Vance and the Forrest Gump were actually filmed in Savannah.
So,
But
You have Baywatch.
yeah,
You
Baywatch.
Summertime.
Garden,
and that was
Midnight in the Garden of Medieval.
SpongeBob SquarePants was also filmed here. Also,
91210.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
and then also
Movies.
along noted movies that were filmed in the state of Georgia, you have Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Creed 3, and you got The Walking Dead.
Oh,
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Underground was filmed here too.
You said Wakanda Forever?
Yeah, well, that's the name. Well,
That's the name.
that's what we called it. But it was
Okay.
Wakanda. But Wakanda
Right.
Forever is currently being filmed
Okay.
in Georgia. So, but the thing about it is, you got the major MGM studios, Disney, and those studios of that nature that are saying nothing about this bill that they're trying to introduce in Georgia. The same type of bill that they have in
Okay,
Florida.
so summarizing the bill,
Mm-hmm.
basically, what is it like? Don't ask, don't tell.
They're trying to say that they're trying to stunt teachers from teaching kids. So, say for instance, because Cease, you made a good point about this, because Cease was
I'm
like,
of two minds
Yeah.
with this whole thing. The education system has a set curriculum of things that you can teach you: math, English, science, reading. That's what my tax dollars paying for.
mm-hmm.
Your child's sexual orientation or sexual preference needs to stop at your front door. You and the parent needs to speak to their child and let them know this stays here until they get to a point in their life that they can actually are able to defend who they are, what they are, and stand in their own shoes and be them. Why? Because these kids in school are brutal. But at the same time, in the same token, that child, and that's why I said two minds, that child being themselves and being at school, that will come up because the other students are going to see that and go, well, what the heck's wrong with her or him or whatever title they use for themselves. And now we have to have a conversation of
Sexual
orientation. Or maybe the conversation can be of mind your business. Because let those people be themselves and the golden rule. That is not something I should be teaching that kid then. Every parent should be teaching their child those things at home, those lessons about bullying, those lessons about leaving people alone. But when you come to school, reading, writing, arithmetic, that's the thing. Because now you're costing me extra money that now I have to create a curriculum to take away from the other educational time to devote to this.
And the thing about it is, because they're saying it's for the grades K through, I think it's 5th or 6th grade they're talking about.
And you
Wait,
do
hold on. Elaborate one more time on what you say this bill is for.
Teachers are not allowed to discuss
LGBT
standings,
who they are, what they
And I
are.
don't think they should. And I agree.
Right, what each letter stands for, why it's there, that type of thing.
That and sex education isn't even taught in, well, I know they petitioned for it to stop in high school because sex education was a part of health.
Yeah.
It was a sector
Yeah.
that you
Home
had to take.
economics. It was in home economics.
No, it was in gym.
No, I learned it in home economics.
So we didn't do that. It was a part of a gym. So you had gym and then you had health. Health is when you would talk about the body anatomy, the girls, the boys. Home economics was for strictly home, like making, baking, like
Cooking.
things like
So I'm so glad we
Right.
didn't
So
do
we
that.
didn't do that at home economics. That was part of our health curriculum. But moving on, I don't think children should be introduced, and I honestly think parents probably want to push it that way because they don't want to address it. A lot of parents are in denial sometimes that their kid may have a different sexual orientation, and rather than deal with it, it's pushed onto the school system. And I don't think that's fair either. But I'm familiar with it because I see it, and it is really real.
Now, before anybody jump on here and say we're I am 100% pro LGBTQ community. I think people
Well, it's
should
no problem
have what
with
they have and be who they
Be
want
who
to
they
be,
be,
with
exactly.
nobody infringing on your right to do that. It's just how these things are introduced into the community at what age, what time, and who is right to do that.
Exactly.
Who has the right to do that? And at that young age, I think one person has the right to do that as a parent, because as a parent, I don't know what the heck you're going to teach
Well,
or what
yeah.
your biases are when you're
There
teaching
you
my
go.
child.
Precisely.
You know?
Precisely. So,
I agree with that. I don't think that should be the responsibility of a teacher. I think it should be, if it's going to be sex education, which is a part of health, then you stick with the body anatomy. And you teach that. If his thing going your thing, then y'all can create a baby. Like, this is what we're talking about. Me telling you, oh well, you know, what is your sexual? I'm asking you, or you
your
have to
sexual
defend.
preference, yeah.
But
Right.
I don't think that is
That's
right
not
to
okay.
a child, and I don't think that's right to the teacher, because if the teacher feel differently about that and say something that the child doesn't like, now you're creating a problem, because now the child's going to go home and say, hey, XYZ, or the kids in the classroom can take the side of the teacher, and now you have possibly a bullying thing getting ready to be started.
But what if the
So
teacher
I
is
totally agree.
evangelical?
That should not be something that's taught in the school. I think, like you said, it should be at home, and when that child is able to defend themselves.
That's an impressionable age right there. So,
Right,
yeah.
you can irreparably scar a child. Let's just say that teacher's an evangelical. Oh my God, they're a hard Bible thumping evangelical. I'm not knocking evangelicals, but I'm just saying that's that's how you see the world. And that child comes out and says that to you, and now you got to teach my child that Jesus is going to get out the system. We don't need that. Let me handle it. Let me,
So T-Roy.
You're awfully quiet over there.
I mean, you said you learned it in high school. I learned it in middle school. I was in my junior high school years. I learned that in New York.
You know what?
Sex
education.
Oh,
So that was in middle school. I mean, I learned it.
I learned mine from my cousin.
Well, I think, excuse me, but I think at that time, during our time, teen pregnancy was so high that it was almost forced to teach it. Like, okay, listen, these kids don't know what they're doing. They just out here willy-nilly in, and we have a plethora of girls getting pregnant. We got to start, like, educating them on their bodies. They didn't say, oh, don't go this. They educated us on our bodies and what happens. Because clearly the conversations wasn't being had. And so it wasn't to say, oh, well, your parent is not telling you about sex. And then you also had to get permission to take it. It wasn't something they just taught. You had to get permission to take it.
Written consent, yeah.
It was.
Well, like I said,
I didn't know letter or anything from my mom to something with my aunt, to sign for me to take that education. It was taught in school. It was kind of
a
going
part of your
on.
curriculum.
So you think
But then it was at a
LGBT
point
should be
where-
taught in school?
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, with me, it didn't work out. But when they taught me sex ed, I went home and put a condom on a banana, put it on the damn counter, and went to work. And I thought I was but now they're gonna be safe.
You know what?
Because I'm having that babies.
Oh, wait a minute. What?
So you saying with today's society, you think LGBTQ and the rest of them
Right.
should be taught in school?
Now, yes, I think so because it's out there.
I would do that. I would do that at a high
It's
school
at
level.
work.
If
It's
I'm
on
doing
TV.
high
You
school.
know, like
Okay, but just like Caesar said, that is something that should be taught at
At
home.
home.
That is not a school curriculum
It's
thing.
going
that
to
you
be
taught
You
at
know
home.
what? I get it because it's a lot of things. Like, you have parents now don't want to talk to kids about
Yeah,
sex.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I
So,
get that.
and they're going to face it.
yeah.
So I don't know. I agree, but realistically, in a realistic world, if kids should understand because it's not being discussed. Maybe it should be a part. I don't know.
Well, the
I don't agree
you know what
with
they
it,
do?
but if it's gonna, help somebody, then I'm all for it.
Well, for the parents who don't want to talk about it, then there should be a place
talk
where
about sex,
the students,
baby.
the school can say, junior high or high school level, you can sign off on your kid taking these courses. Or because some parents like me might go, I don't want to sit down and tell my kid this at home or talk to them at
I
home
mean, you
about it.
still can.
And-
It also
But don't take the right away from me.
And the reason why I say it needs to be taught in school because it needs to be taught how to respect it.
Well, no,
Because not
you don't have to
everybody-
be-
not everybody respect that.
No,
Respect,
yeah.
I can't say gay people, but how to respect,
Their choice.
the thoughts and who they are. Because you have some kids. My son, for example, he's been in school so many days, and they're like, man, it was gay MF for so and so and so and so, and it's like, okay, that's who we are. I'm teaching it as a parent by trying to teach him how to respect them. You don't have to like it, but you still have to respect it.
Right. It's a choice.
But here's
Well,
the,
not a choice, but it's who they are.
It's who they are.
Correction.
but here's the thing with that. For me, the lesson of respect hasn't been taught then.
And that's how you
No.
teach it.
It's not them, they, you, me.
Okay, so
If you
you
teach
going
your
back
child
further.
respect,
You going back further, but some
no.
kids take it from their parents.
You teach your kid respect from the front door.
Right.
Then they will not infringe on anyone for any reason. Let's get that part clear. No, we're not doing this. We're not going to do anything to anyone. Let people live in their space and be them. That language that comes up, because here's the thing. We got to teach kids how to have respect for black people. We got to teach kids how to have respect for Hispanic, Jews, everything you can think of then. We need to have a class then. Because we didn't get the basic premise of respect up.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing from you is, well, LGBT is a special compartment that we have to, no, they're human beings that deserve respect. So teach people flat out
Respect across the board.
And like I said, guys, you got to go further back as a child.
No, we keep that lesson going.
Right,
Like people that come in and say, people come in
That's
and
what
say,
he
sir,
said.
That's what I'm saying. I
man.
just said you got to go back further then.
No, you're
Not
not.
just high school.
No, you're not. Because these young people here at 18, 19, 20, some of them, the lesson ain't carried on. Some of them it did. So guess what? Are you still here, sir, ma'am? Yes, sir, no, sir?
Are you saying that you have to, when you say go back, you mean you have to start at an earlier age?
Start at an earlier age.
So
But
he
that's
said
what-
go back-
I thought you said stop
Yeah.
there
No.
and not keep this thing going.
He's saying going back to an earlier age.
Oh, absolutely.
And
And that's
start
what I'm
there.
getting at. That's what I'm getting
So
at.
I
Start
think
young.
that's what it was.
That's
Yeah,
what
y'all
it is.
y'all had was a failure to communicate.
Big one.
Y'all had a breakdown in the communication.
Yeah. It's
So
a good thing.
going back to the question that DC asked me, and she, do I feel that they need to teach in the class? Yes, I do.
So how do you think you will go about teaching that? If I was a heterosexual, and I was like, okay, I have how do I, and you really have to be almost like an attorney. You have to set yourself outside, and whether they're guilty or not, or you have feelings or you feel a certain way, you have to be really, really unbiased.
Right, you have to be really about it.
So, would you get a person that's heterosexual? Would you prefer a person of the LGBTQ
Exactly.
community to teach it?
Exactly.
What? Exactly
Yeah.
what?
I would want the person who is that person
A
to
part of
teach
the
that.
LG.
Right. One of my gym teachers was. She, you know, I don't know if she's still alive. If not, God bless.
I had a couple that were. We knew.
Miss Harvey. You know what I'm saying? And we saw her friend, coming. We thought they were just homegirls or whatever, but they really were together. And we didn't know that, as kids growing up, and we were in high school, and we didn't know that. But as we got older, and we were like, everybody, oh, Miss Hartley was. Yeah, I knew something was wrong. And then, we had.
Well, why was it wrong?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, like now, yeah, they need to teach. We need to have somebody up.
But that's just like when you're in high school
Yeah.
and you got, you socialize with people in high school, and then you look at someone, you like, yeah.
But the thing about it, with our generation, we really didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Right.
It was there, but it wasn't like.
We weren't talking about like, you seen buddy?
The fact that you are of the LGBT community does not qualify you to teach it.
Exactly. Because you could
You
teach it wrong.
qualified to teach it.
You could teach it in a biased way.
Right.
You can teach it in a bias, even though you're part of the LGBT, all elemental
Community,
community, and you can
First
still.
of all, don't get the acronym together.
I keep trying. Look, y'all. Wait a minute. Hold on. Y'all know my mind bad. I can't look. All these alphabets be getting to me. But y'all know who I'm talking about.
The letter community.
Yeah. But you could have someone of that community who is extremely biased and they're teaching it, but are they teaching it the right way?
Right.
So
I think they would.
Again,
No.
because you are of the community, because I'm black don't mean I'm qualified to teach black
thank
history.
you.
You may
Thank
not know
you.
nothing about your history.
Thank you. Point taken.
Well,
So
you know
you
what?
like
That's a
property
double-edged sword. It could go either way. A heterosexual could be pro-heterosexual, and
And that's what I'm getting at.
a person that of the LGBTQ community could be pro because they don't want that child to feel left behind or left out or picked on. So they're more passionate about it because it is a part of who they are.
And they bring their
So
biases into it.
exactly. So I mean, it's you really just have to like toss the coin up and see where it lands.
Yeah.
So I got a question.
Okay.
So since we're talking about that, and you're talking about, the letter community, we have the handicapped people that have their own classes.
What?
Okay? What? So why won't the letter community, would you feel better if they had their own classes?
What?
No. What
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
you got
see,
handicapped people that have their own classes. They go to the handicapped class.
No, but this is
They're not
that's different.
handicapped.
That's a physical
That's
disability.
that's a physical
You
disability.
can be
That's something
handicapped
totally
and
different.
be LGBTQ. It doesn't
Exactly.
handicap is that crosses all barriers.
Let's stop for a minute and let's clarify something. A sexual orientation of who you choose to be with doesn't put you in a place where you have to be segregated from people.
Or you can
That's
view as being
basically what
handicapped.
you're saying to me. No,
You
you
just jumped on me.
no.
You jumped on me because I said this, and then it's like, what are you talking about?
because you're not listening closely to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Basically, what you're saying is black people need to be in a separate classroom from whites.
I'm not saying
Well,
that.
yes, you
I'm
listen
asking
to me.
the question.
In
Listen to me.
essence,
I'm
that's what
Listen
you're
to
saying.
me and not argue the point. Come out of your head for a second and open your ears and just try to hear it out. When you're saying that, what's the difference between black and white and being in a classroom? Nothing. What's the difference between heterosexual and so-called homosexual? Nothing. They're just human beings.
They're just human beings.
That's it.
So
And they're
what
going to
are
be
you
in
talking
class doing something. People that have handicaps may have other needs. Like we had students that couldn't write, so you needed someone to sit there with them, and they cannot participate in a regular classroom because they would slow up the curriculum. So you gave them an extra help. But when you're talking about a whole human being that has nothing wrong with them, what are you segregating them for?
Which is exactly what you
For
said.
no reason.
So what
Why
we talked about?
does one LGBT community need extra help? For what? Go ahead.
I get what you're saying.
Go ahead. Explain.
So what we talked about last week about the gender change And
Transgender. Yeah.
transgender, we're talking about them swimming with the women, and now we were talking about they should have their own league. Maybe they shouldn't, since we're talking about that.
That's totally
It's a whole
comparing
different
apples
thing,
to
bro.
oranges, Troy.
Oh,
Not
but
even the
okay,
same.
because y'all are just confusing him and making it difficult for him to understand. You said separate the alphabet community from, like, you separate the
I'm saying,
handicap.
like, I mean,
The handicap is like a mental handicap. They
It
don't
can
have
be
all the
physical.
It can be physical.
Yeah,
It can be
physically.
physical.
They
I
don't
understand that.
have all the functions they need to participate in a normal class. The alphabet community, as you said, they have all the normal functions. They don't have nothing physically or mentally wrong with them that
I
they
understand
can't.
that.
So why do they need to be
Participate
separated?
I'm not-
Why would you separate them?
You're talking about like the swimming thing. You're talking about. They're talking about sex wise.
So now you're
you
creating
got
a back
men
alliance.
and women. If you were born a man, why are you swimming in the women's competition?
He's not saying that, but we have to listen to him, and I think we also have to hear everybody. We're not listening. Well, we're listening, but
Trying to understand.
understand.
Don't
So we
understand.
need.
Y'all got to let me get it out.
Well, we trying. Go ahead.
And I mean, you know, when I
Okay,
get
when
to
you're
work with it,
saying-
I'm like,
okay,
Nah, don't say it for him.
I got to
No,
get it out.
when you're saying a different category, elaborate on what you're trying to say.
Okay, going back to what he said, you know, do you have to be black to teach black history? No, you don't. The question you came to me with, do I feel that they should teach the alphabet or the letter community in school? Yes. He came, and I'm talking about the respect. Then he was like, no, that comes from home, okay, so that means we got to go further back. What I mean by that, we got to go further back. Now we need to teach it what? In first, second, kindergarten, pre-K? We need to teach it then. They may not know that. A lot of kids don't get taught respect at home. They try to, but then it's like, what you got to do? Get it right. You got to pop them? And we done had that conversation before. You know, it turns into abuse. Is it abuse or is it a beating? Or is it a spanking?
Or is it
Keep
just
on.
discipline?
Or is it just discipline? So when you disciplining a child, you're disciplining a child to correct them. So and you just start from there and come on up. Now, going back to what you're talking about when you say, do you have to be black to teach black history? No, because some black people don't know black history. They wasn't taught it. You have people who go to college, who go to school. School is not for everybody. College is not for everybody. And at the same time, they don't learn it. But they have gone to educate themselves, reading books, going to different seminars, or whatever they do to learn how to teach black history as a black person. And then, you know, kind of keep going on with it. Now, what I mean by me saying, so do the letter community need to have their own class? Maybe so. It's just an opinion that I'm giving. But when I say something, it's like, you jump on me real quick. It's like, what you talking about? Listen to me. I'm not going against what you're saying. I'm just giving out my opinion.
So what I'm hearing you say is, what better environment for them to learn about themselves in their own environment? So if you have an LGBTQ teacher, and you have those students that choose to take it, and they know that they have these feelings, what better environment for them to be put in a classroom together, let that teacher explain to them, hey, I understand what you're going through, this is how it is, it's not mandatory, but if it's an option, like an elective. And they go into that classroom, and that teacher teaches them, you know, these are some things you can encounter, this is how you react to them, this is going on, could be going on with your body, and if they have questions, for a heterosexual, I can understand that, okay, you say you have faith, I can sympathize with them, but I can't empathize with them. An LGBTQ teacher could empathize with them.
Right.
And that's what I am hearing. And I get what you're saying. I'm not saying that they have to be separate, but if there was a class that was created and they wanted to take that, it's not mandatory. And even if a heterosexual wouldn't say, okay, well, I want to take it to understand, they could take that class as well. Is that what I'm hearing? That's what I'm
Is
hearing.
that what you're trying to
Oh,
convey?
no, what I heard, and I'm sure
Well, see, because-
what he clearly stated was, handicaps have a classroom. These people have a classroom. That is absolutely wrong. I don't care how you slice it, opinion or not.
Yeah,
That's absolutely wrong.
Well, it's an opinion, so it can't be wrong. That's his opinion.
yeah.
Well,
But from the way I just explained it, what do you think
right,
about that?
but from that standpoint, that's a different thing. You're talking about a curriculum set up for them
Yeah.
to try to, and that having all the trappings of.
But that's all inclusive, though. That's not just putting somebody in this category and somebody in that category.
and say,
It's still
put them over
including
here.
everyone. Yeah.
That's not okay.
Maybe it came out wrong. But I was listening to him, and so I understood what you said, and I was there with y'all. But I'm like, it got to be something deeper.
Okay, so basically, what
we
you
get
were
it. I
trying to
get it. We get
say, what you were trying to say was basically lost in translation. So, and she basically was able to translate what you were trying to say for you. Okay.
So basically, y'all need to stop cutting this man off and let him finish what he got to say.
Basically, you need to go back over there, Miss Producer, and let us finish our show. That's what you need to do.
Hot topic, girl.
Yes, that was a really hot topic. So we got a little heated on that one right there, but that's all good. That's what it's for. It's for to get it out there and for us to have a discussion on it. So, and speaking of discussions, it's time now for I Thought You Knew.
What did I know? Don't you know? But here's the thing. To have that good life and do all the things you want to do, you got to have good health.
Mhm.
People always say, the best thing is health out there. When I was a kid, I used to get mad at them, like, no, I want some money. And keep your health wishes. Until I got older and figured out health is a big thing. So what I'm coming from with this and going a long way about is we all like our fast foods.
Oh, no.
And I know, here it comes. We go ahead and the thing about the fast food. So the fast food industry, McDonald's, Taco Bell, Burger King, and to include Chick-fil-A, a huge thing just came out with their food packaging.
Don't talk about Chick-fil-A. Don't.
Yes, ma'am.
You said what like?
Don't.
Yes,
Chick-fil-A. Don't stop. You said
Don't
Now, there's a
do
thing
something.
out there known as poly. Man, my glasses just stopped working. Known as PFCs.
Oh yeah, okay.
And these PFCs, they've been finding that they're leaching into your food more than ever, and it stays in your body for quite a long time.
Microplastic.
Microplastics.
Yep, I heard about it.
And
Okay.
the probability and possibility of cancer is very high. But the thing that was most alarming to me was the idea that these restaurants turn around and say, we'll try to take it out of our packaging by 2025.
Oh,
So
so
I'm
what
like,
they
I'm
have
sorry.
to do while the
Right.
grass growing?
Why are we waiting so long?
Like she said.
Right. Why are we waiting so long to...
You mean the next week, 2022?
22.
I'm going to tell you why. Because they've already spent the money on what they have, and rather than throw that stuff away and start anew, we're going to get money off of what we already spent.
Yeah.
That's why.
And doing that, guess what they're doing? Endangering our lives. And we get to vote on that with our dollars. Every time you walk out there and you spend at these places when they're not moving fast enough for your health.
What about Zaxby's? Please don't tell me Zaxby's.
I didn't see Zaxby's in this article.
Did you see churches?
That's it again?
Thank you, Father.
Churches?
Churches.
They make chicken, girl. I'm not messing with
I
chicken.
get exactly more than I eat at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, black
I
women
eat Chick-fil-A. I used to eat Chick-fil-A mostly when I'm on the road. But it's actually is where I eat the majority if I get fast food.
Wow.
Yes. I just had it
So
yesterday.
when he was talking, I was like, oh God.
So if these big restaurants are watching and you kind of see us, please help a brother out.
Burger King.
Go on, help my family. Take that stuff out your packaging.
Man, look.
I'm still slip up and go out there later on today.
You know it.
And eat that thing and be like,
And see,
oh, Chick-fil-A stuff is bad for me.
and Chick-fil-A, they got the longest.
Right.
No, listen. Chick-fil-A should have been doing COVID testing.
Oh,
That is the longest, fastest line you will ever get.
Right.
Yeah.
They could have done COVID testing while you wait for your sandwich.
thank you.
There you go.
You can run all less than 5 minutes.
And it don't matter where you're going, you can be driving anywhere.
Right.
You can drive anywhere, you will see a Chick-fil-A.
And the line is right.
And whatever method they came up with,
It's working.
I'm at McDonald's 3 cars back, 45 minutes. 30 cars back at Chick-fil-A. Sir, can I help you? Like, where? I'm taking number 2. He's so fast behind.
Look, with extra pickles.
Right. And not only that, you get to the women, they know your name, and you would think 10 cars back, but oh, I'm at top. No, hi, come to DC.
Right. I didn't know I knew you. Thank you, though.
Well, about 7:30, 8 o'clock before they close at 9. Oh yeah, they coming. They
Right.
be driving and they be trying to get in there. Oh my God, man, I can't.
Okay. And speaking of can't, we're gonna move right along to when I can't stand it.
Hey, listen. We gonna stay on the topic of that Chick-fil-A. I cannot stand nobody to cut me off without even signaling. I can't stand that. If you trying to come over and you don't have your blinkers on.
The blinker. You mean the signal light?
Signal light. We as these people, the brown color people, we say blinkers. Okay?
That's actually a call back one. Blinker.
Blinkers.
For those who don't know, there are 2 types of manuals.
Right now,
Special
I'm
blinker for us.
so it's blinkers.
Okay.
So you don't turn your blinkers on to get over in front of me, I'm gonna hit you. I'm not even gonna check what kind of car I'm driving.
Oh wow.
Wow, really?
I'm gonna hit you.
But you know what? And I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'm guilty of that. It depends on how fast I need to get over. Cause sometimes you have to go to flood traffic and you're riding and it's that quick get over. And
Well, actually,
I'll hit the blinker and you hit your blinker and it pop back down and it don't blink like it's supposed to. You gotta like hit it so that it click and then the blinker actually stops.
Right.
but actually legally, like when you're on the highway, if you're just moving over to move back over into a lane, you do not have to put your signal light on. You know that, bitch.
I'm not about to catch that police on that dollar.
No, but I'm just saying, legally you don't. Like if you're, say for instance,
Passing.
yeah, if you're,
passing lane.
if you're in the pass, you go. If you're in the pass lane, say you got a
That's
car in
how
front
we
of
do
you.
them passing.
Look, if you got a car in front of you, and you're behind that car, right, and you move over to pass that car and to get right back in that other lane, you don't have to use signal.
I don't believe that.
Okay.
When Tommy pulled me over,
I'm not-
Look it up.
showed me.
Look it up. Your signal light is a turning light.
No, it's a turn signal.
Turn signal for turning. When you're passing, you do not have to use your signal light. When you're passing, just passing now. I ain't saying doing other stuff, but when you're just passing to go from right around to get around somebody, you do not have to use your signal
So
light.
you're one of the ones I'm gonna hit.
No, you're not. No, because I use my signal light regardless.
Okay.
So I even use my signal light.
I don't get no
Wait a
money.
minute.
I do. Your mind be sleep. But anyway,
About one time.
but no, seriously though, because I use mine because see, with my car it's like you don't have to like push it, you just tap it and it'll blink,
like
it'll blink,
3 or 4
it,
times.
yeah, it'll
Yeah,
blink
3
three or four
times.
times and then it'll go back over. So therefore, what?
You're required by law to signal at least 100 feet before you change.
There she is.
Take your band-aid head
I
back
ain't
over
with
there.
She gonna be the one. I ain't with it.
Look, the Popo told me
I'm
that.
only saying that
Bill.
because Fred got
The
pulled
Popo
over
gotta get
for a
money.
ticket because he didn't put his signal light on when he passed the car. That was
Why people always butting into somebody else's business?
Because we need to be spreading.
But y'all, just so you know, that was in the script. She was supposed to do that. Anyway,
I used to use a winking light.
anyway,
When you usually have a what?
A winking light. A winking, a fully winking people behind me that you should find out that winking.
Hey, I'm gonna need you to take care of that. You did not take care of that. You did not take care of that.
That's serious.
14 days.
he did not.
If you see somebody
He
traveling,
did not.
if you see someone traveling, they wink.
My hand come up on that car. It's
Hey,
two in the
pull over.
Because
So we might have to do a show on this video.
We gonna have to.
yeah, we gonna have to do a Dave Caesar
A
show.
winking light, man.
But you know, also, but with that in the traffic though, what I cannot stand, this is when you in the traffic, right?
Right.
And you're in the passing lane, and you got a car in front of you in that damn passing lane, they see you behind them, and they don't move their happy ass over into the slow lane so that you can carry on with your day. That is, ooh. And I keep trying to tell people because I don't know, people don't understand the law. Why are you looking over there and saying, no, D, no, I'm talking to D. Because, see, she was one of them.
She always want what?
Would ride in the past.
I've been flown.
Yeah, but
I've flown. Let me tell you what she does. She will be in the traveling lane. She'll get over behind someone in the passing lane.
That's
and she was okay, but let's say that car, they move fast enough that they passed the car she was going around, but she wants to go still faster than the car that's in front of her. She'll ride that car and just complain instead of getting over, just going on my business. She's gonna ride behind the car and she just gonna and she didn't need to move. Okay, but this lane is clearly open.
But
even though it's not the passing lane, I get it. They're supposed to move, but in event they do not.
Clearly,
just get over.
I'm gonna put a sign in my windshield.
And that's what she does.
Over.
When that happens, what she does. This is she'll look at me. I say, you gonna look at the wrong person? And I'm telling you, they gonna follow you behind.
Yes, she does.
Look at my car and get a surprise.
Okay. You know.
Two times. Where you going? Where you going?
If you are interested in receipt.
Okay.
He's coming in the section.
Listen, inbox us.
Somebody, please.
Somebody.
Have a heartbeat. Have a heartbeat.
Okay.
Inbox us.
Yes.
Be breathing.
Optional.
Oh Lord. Speaking of, well, I still beg to differ with D as far as my driving is concerned. Anywho, but we're gonna move on right along because that's pretty much a hell no right there. That's pretty much a hell no. Yes, because I don't do those things. So hell no, I don't do that. So okay, speaking of hell no, it is time for the hell no moment of the week.
Okay, hell no. In conversation this week, I was talking, and we were talking about children in your home and having sex. So if you walked in your house and your child is in there having sex, are you okay with that?
Hell no!
Lord.
Okay.
So,
Lord. Yes,
So my question is, if your child is of age, what is wrong with them doing it?
First of all, if I ain't getting none in my house, you ain't either. But I'm not. So therefore, you ain't getting shit in here either.
So
I'm sorry.
you getting some?
No, it ain't gonna be. I don't need to hear all of that.
but she's crying.
Yeah, I don't need to hear that in my house, and it ain't me. That's all I'm saying. If you need to do that, go your behind elsewhere.
So let me ask you something. So would you talk? If that was to happen, how would you address it?
It has happened, and I have addressed it.
So how did you address it?
Well, see, me being me.
Did you go in and bust it up, or did you wait till they finish and talk to them afterwards?
Well, okay, it was two instances. I can't even say it right. Instances. The first one, I didn't say anything until afterwards.
Okay.
And I'm like, boy, you done lost your rabbit ass mind up in here. Because if anything going on up in here, it need to be me. Mm-hmm. And look here, keep a little house, go to their house. Don't come over here. And then another time, it was unexpected because I was going about my day, minding my own little business, and I was going to my car that is parked in my garage.
In the garage.
In the garage. Mm-hmm. I go to proceed to open the door.
Car was unlocked.
I'm like, what the hell? What is really? Ooh, boy, I'm about to be minus a child.
So that's just something. Was he of age?
Yeah.
Okay, so what was wrong with him?
You in my house.
Right.
So let me ask you something. Now, this is a woman.
That could have
If
been
that was your sons, how would you have reacted?
The same way.
He lost
I
his
have.
mind.
So your son was in your
The
house.
same way. I'm telling you.
So if your sons are in your home,
Yeah. I'm like, oh, hey,
But the
Hell
thing about it is,
no.
you ain't.
Hell no.
I agree with you.
But-
Wait a minute.
The conversation was if it was my son, I'm gonna get a son.
No,
if it was a daughter,
no.
it was like, oh heck no.
Nah, you can't do that.
That's
But
what
the thing, you in the garage. Anybody could have walked in that damn garage.
that was important that
You didn't bring no friends.
Okay.
Get wrong with
I
him.
mean, shoot. I mean, where daddy at? I mean, I need to check him out. Let me see what he decides. Let me look and see what's going on with the daddy. I mean,
wait. You looking for that?
They need to
That's
go
what I
ahead
said.
and
You
take
didn't bring
care
no
of that.
friends.
okay.
Go ahead and
So it's okay to bring a friend.
No, but I'm just saying.
And Lynn Roberts, they need to go ahead and get that taken care of.
I'm just saying.
No love. They need the love.
Whatever, man. I'm just saying. Shoot. Don't be doing that. My thing, ooh, Lord have mercy.
So when it happens, how do you address the issue? What do you say? How do you discuss it? Because they're gonna.
Well, see,
I know somebody that skipped school and went home or skipped somewhere or ducked off when they was young.
You know, that's one thing
Well,
I
you
never
better be
did.
slick. You better
That's
be
one thing I
slick.
never did.
What?
Skip school to have sex.
You did it in school?
I've never did.
No,
No, it's all my appointments was after school.
Oh, there you go.
oh, wow. Excuse me.
You
All
are
my
professional.
Your appointments,
Hey,
man.
I had a car, so
Yeah,
I could
pretty
get
good.
there quick
Okay, so
before the mom and daddy get home.
So you was in the house doing it.
I was in their house. I was in their house, yes.
Try to catch that shot.
So now that
called.
you're the parent, it can't happen to you.
Well, I mean, if it happened, then let me find out.
What is this? What is
If
this?
they not- if
Check
they
it
not-
out, check it out.
if they not let me find out.
He's about to get back
Hey,
to corporate.
hey, now, hey, I'm gonna give you something. Hey, I'm gonna give you a little something. Hey, I'm gonna give you a little something else to laugh at. I have done it at my mom's house, and she caught me.
But don't that feel weird? Your mama
What she did, she closed the door. She said, "I'm gonna give y'all time to get dressed." She closed the door. Me and my lady went out the back door.
Oh, Lord.
That's how
And when I came back, because I took her home. Now, when I came back, yeah, she let me have it.
Oh, Lord.
She let me have it. She took the keys to my car, and I was walking to school.
You better carry her on your back.
Because I mean, that hurted me more because I had other appointments.
There you go.
I thought you said it hurt you more because you let your mama die.
You
Right, you
know.
know, right.
Seriously?
I couldn't get to the house, because I had my
One
own
time?
car in high school.
Catch a cat. It's
That cat wasn't fast enough. We got out at 2:15. I went down there at 2:20.
They don't understand.
I would've had to
We
run.
ain't got no Uber.
No Uber,
So are y'all carrying
no.
y'all correct? It was okay for you to do it, but now that you're an adult and you have kids, your kids
Yeah, they
don't
can't
know.
do
Listen,
it.
yes.
No.
That was the third time. Listen, that was the third time we did that, and I got caught the third time, so that was like the third.
You got carried, you got slap, you
And
got
I was trying to do it too much.
You got slap, yeah, you got
And I was-
slap.
I wasn't that
My
lucky.
mom-
I wasn't that lucky in high school.
My mom didn't get off of work until 4:30. But that day she happened to come home early.
You wasn't that lucky in high school.
Yeah, I heard of people having sex. It was a vision. me and the Sunday newspaper in the big girl bra section.
Yeah,
That's all I had. It wasn't.
But you know what?
Down.
Hey, I was
Don't laugh at my
17.
man.
Hey, I graduated at
It's not
18, but I was
existence.
17. At that time, I had my own car.
You know what?
With Lance Bryant.
I was 17 when I broke my virginity.
So, let me say this. What happens if you got your daughters?
Oh, Buddy getting beat up. Straight up.
It's gonna be
Buddy
a
getting
pretzel
beat
in
up.
my house.
Buddy
Not
getting
gonna
beat up. I'm
be-
holding down. Me and my brother gonna beat him.
He's gonna be a
I'm gonna be
pretzel.
beating on him first.
So-
And my brother, me and my brother gonna listen.
You walk in your door, you hear your daughter upstairs.
Oh, God, yeah. Back and forth.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Big Daddy. I'm the one daddy you know. Don't know any daddy you know. Don't you know? Oh, hell no. Woo! Hell no.
You smell food?
Yeah, get it, Daddy. Yeah,
No.
Daddy. Daddy.
Oh,
God.
I'm in some
Lord, it's hot. It's warm.
What he said?
Buddy gonna get beat up.
What he
Real
said?
Oh goodness! All right, come on, y'all. We gotta move on because y'all tripping. Oh my God!
Hey, I think that might need to be the tip of the day. You not keep hitting everybody
Don't
out.
come no man.
Don't think about it. Don't think about it.
Call it daddy.
That might be the tip of the month, the day, the week, the month, the year. The life. This is the life tip. Fuck the week. Tip of the life.
Tip of the week.
Life tip.
So I take it Troy got the tip of the week. So Troy, what is your
Don't bring your ass to my house. How about that? Shit. That's the tip of the motherfucking.
damn Troy? You just
Straight up.
straight, not straight, but straight up.
There it is.
Straight.
Oh, you're really taking this personal. This was just.
I got it.
We ain't about to do that. That's the tip of the week, the month, the year, whatever else you want in your life.
Oh my God. Okay, well
You want
that.
another tip?
What's the other tip, Troy?
Man, we on the show. I'm gonna respect
So the
that.
tip?
Yes,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
respect
'Cause
that.
actually, Caesar.
Oh, I don't have a tip. I'm gonna help on that.
You gonna add on? Go ahead and add on to it. You can
I
add
got
on.
your back, bro. It's all I got.
Yes, man. Yeah, but you don't ship your parents.
Okay, I got it.
I'm sorry, but my all had no. It was just a discussion. I was like, this would be perfect.
You know what? DC,
What is it?
you start plenty of shit. DC started a whole lot of things. You raised my blood pressure.
Got to be started.
No, because it was a discussion, and I was like, well, that's a double standard. You catch your son, and it's one thing. Then you see your daughter, and then you want to lose. So I wanted to know what the views was of my constituents.
They gonna work out.
I got
And
it.
you said that. You said it just
I-
it ran away with it. Have your blood? Is your blood pressure coming down? Are you
coming down a little bit? I took a little sip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a tip for y'all. Don't allow these two fools on your show. This is just don't do it. I mean, I try to. Hold on.
Oh, hey, you know what?
Mm.
Ladies, don't allow me to pay for
Okay,
dinner.
so
That we ain't gonna, that we ain't in a relationship now.
Say what?
Huh? I'm sorry, what? They get rough, man. You know, I gotta buy dinner for everybody.
Wait a minute. We gonna talk. We got that coming up, but we ain't gonna discuss that right
It's a
now.
relationship.
I got some stories on that right there, but we not gonna talk about that right now.
You sounded like a duck just did.
Shut up. You look like the duck I was sounding like. Be quiet. Oh, have mercy.
Stand up.
Oh, goodness.
Oh my God. Oh man. Hold on. Okay. So I guess that's just fried.
Yeah, I have. No, the tip of your week is YOLO. You only live once.
What?
Please
Stay out of my
enjoy
house.
yourself and be safe. COVID is lifting and it's getting better, but we have not cleared and we're still learning. So please, please, please. I know a lot of events are coming back. Concerts, people are having parties again. COVID has not gone away. It is better because we're, medical professions are still learning, and there's a new strand out. If people don't know, there's a new strand that's out, and it's supposed to be like the Omicron strand, which is like spread, but it's not as deadly. So by far, please enjoy yourself, but still remember that COVID is still real.
Yeah, because I think
The numbers are going down. Yes.
the new variant make your nose itch.
There's gonna be a fat boy summer. We coming out. I'm sorry.
You said the first one, so I don't care where on either side. The nose itching, there's a COVID symptom, you over here with that boy, it's a hot girl
We
summer.
sexy.
Oh, God.
Hot girl summer.
Hot girl summer.
Do that what?
Do that shit. Do that shit.
Okay. On a positive note. So, on a positive note, I just want to say this. If you have things that are weighing you down, that are lay heavy on you, you ever heard the expression pressure bust pipes?
Right.
If there's something that's stressing you, let it go. Because if you don't, it's going to cause you, stress causes a lot of physical ailments in the body. It can also lead to high blood pressure. It can lead to stroke. It can lead to a whole bunch of things. So what I have learned in my years of living, and this was a hard lesson for me to learn because I tend to hold on to things because I'm kind of just a tad bit
Controlling.
No, sensitive. I'm
You said
just
it's tad.
I'm just a tad bit. I'm a little sensitive. Just I'm gonna tell you like this. I am not controlling. I mean, on the outside, people seem to think that I'm kind of hard or whatever. But once you get to know me, you know that
Marshmallow.
I'm wishy. I ain't gonna lie. I'll cry at the drop of like that because I'm sensitive. I can't help that. Shut up, Troy. Anywho, but you got to learn to let things go. I mean, I have to be in full transparency. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I had an issue a couple of years ago, and it really bothered me. And it took me talking to a good friend of mine to just let me look at it at a different perspective. So I had a person that I was close to, or at least I thought I was close to, and well, she told me that, you know, she thought our friendship had came to an end. And I'm like, huh? Why? But in that instance, I was like, you know, it bothered me. It kind of hurt. It really hurt me. It really did. It hurt me. And I talked to a friend of mine, and they were like, look, I understand that you hurt. And I understand that it upsets you. But you got to understand that, look, when somebody's ready to walk out your life, you got to let them go. You know, and if that's what they want to do, it's nothing that you did. So there's nothing for you to be sorry for. So you just got to take that and be like, okay, maybe that's God's way of saying that this person is no longer needed in your life.
Well, it sounds.
So
With that, if you've apologized for anything and it's like that's it. I think even if you had someone in your life and you wronged them, they felt you wronged them and you didn't, if there was a conversation, apology given, it's done. I mean, it's up to them whether they want to forgive and move on. It's up to them whether they just want to move on. But when you have closeness, that's a grievance thing. And you go through that grievance. You go through the sad, the anger. What is it? Sad, seven stages.
Seven stages. But see,
you go through all of those, and when you start to heal, that's when it starts to fall by the wayside. And you say, okay, you know what? This is my reality, and I got to move on.
See, I used to tell my dates, and this is a real study, people. For stress, they say if you stare at boobs for 15 minutes a day, it can lower you. I'm dead serious. Lower your blood.
On that
Google this.
Wait. Is that for men or women?
Women too.
why am I staring at somebody else's breast?
They're lovely. Oh.
I'm not mine, girls. I got my own, okay?
Oh, I'm checking. I'm sorry.
You know what? On that note, the doors to the subscribers are open.
Help me boy out.
The doors to the subscribers are open. Come on in. If you've enjoyed what you've heard and seen today, come on in and subscribe. Click the notification button that's down there. Yeah, I'm on this one, Bobby Lady, once again. But click that doggone notification, to subscribe, the like, and the share button. Just come on in the room. I said, come on in the room.
That should be a little faster.
Come on in the room.
Sister Lynn is always extra.
Well, I'm just saying. Y'all, come on. Don't forget to hit the like, the share. Thank you so much for watching today. We really appreciate it. We'll see you again next week. So until then, just know everyone is entitled to their opinion. Never be afraid to express yours. I am your girl, Lynn Roberts.
I'm that girl, DC.
And I'm your boy T. Roy.
Big C.
Big C's.
We out.
Thank y'all.
I'm really glad that they actually got a study in Germany about this.
Told
Now
you.
what?
10 minutes a day.
Yeah, it's a real thing. See, she looked it up. See, I like her. She's not a fact checker.
Oh Lord, Jesus, why?
What did it say? What did it say? What did it say?
It says doctors looking at busty women for 10 minutes a day is good for your health.
So if I'm staring at your boobies, I'm just helping myself.
Say.
Hey, I need about 5 minutes.
Right. Just stay still. No.